PMacMovies back here on July 14th. We got another PMacMovies movie reviews video here for you guys. I watched a couple more yesterday too since the last vid I made. So I got a nice little stack here, which some of these were really excellent. So we're going to take a look. The Friday the 13th set from Scream Factory, a lot of people already know about it. But just a little PMacMovies tip for you guys, since it was just, they just came out with it yesterday, and it's like $160 on Shout Factory's website, and you get like a poster and a lithograph if you're within the first 1,300 or something orders. However, little tip if you want it, the TCM shop has it for $115, and there's a 10% off code. If you sign up through your email, you get a 10% off code. So with tax and shipping, for me, I pre-ordered it, ended up being, I think, $119 and change. So if you're interested in getting that new Friday the 13th set, which looks really, really nice. Looks like it has like a separate case for each movie and a outer box. Looks like a really nice one. It seems like that would be the place to get it from what I've seen so far, but we'll see. These things usually end up even cheaper than you think they're gonna. So, moving on. I do appreciate the few people who left feedback for me in my reviews video yesterday. Quite honestly, I do get a little bit frustrated that I feel like I talk about a fair amount of things, and people, I got like over 2,000 subscribers, and you get like 100 views and things like that. It is fine, but I just feel like more people could participate. Who cares though? I'm still gonna make the videos, and people are gonna do what they're gonna do. I guess I should be used to not, but I do appreciate the people who do comment and participate and thumbs up. You're showing appreciation for the videos and keeping these videos going. So that's some good stuff. So let's take a look here. So I have some arrows that I just bought. I got something from Bill. I got a Scream Factory. I got a bunch of stuff here. Kino. Let's go over a couple of the ones that I watched most recently. Stay away! PMac sneezing! Anyway, I just watched one from Kino. It is Secret Ceremony here, starring Elizabeth Taylor, Mia Farrow, and Robert Mitchum. I just watched this. I was really, really tired, so I fell asleep through a few parts of it, and then I went back and watched those again, watched it through. So some of it I saw twice, some of it only once. I'm going to say the way this movie started out, the feel of it, it's a late 60s movie. It felt more like a 70s movie to me, just the feel of it. And it had a feel like kind of like that Three Women movie, the Robert Altman movie, Three Women with Sissy Spacek. And part of it is that Mia Farrow's character, and even her appearance to some degree, her eyes and stuff, she does remind me of Sissy Spacek. And Sissy Spacek's got like that weird thing in like Three Women and like Carrie. She's kind of like her eyes, and it's weird. And Mia Farrow kind of does that sort of thing, like this kind of, this kind of weird, wide-eyed young woman who's not quite right. And that was definitely something to build on, because I love that movie, Three Women. I thought that was a great movie. Basically what happens here in the beginning of the movie, Mia Farrow's character is following Elizabeth Taylor's character. And we find out that she's doing that because Mia Farrow's mom passed away, and Elizabeth Taylor's character looks like her mother. And Mia Farrow's basically like a woman, but she acts like a little girl, and she's got a lot of psychological issues, based on her upbringing and losing her mother and her stepfather, who is played by Robert Mitchum. I don't even know if they would allow crap for like the relationship between Mitchum and Mia Farrow. It's really creepy. To me, it was uncomfortable to watch. Kind of gross, quite like just weird. Like, I don't even know how actors are comfortable playing those roles. Like, it's just acting and whatever you could say. Oh, he's just acting, but to play a role like that, like, I don't know, there's something not quite right. Robert Mitchum is kind of a creepy character in general, and I know people, oh, he's acting, that's his. No, something's not right. You can't just act like that in a movie and be like a normal person. So some strange stuff going on there. I was looking for something I feel like deeper in this movie, plot twists and turns and stuff like that. I didn't really feel like there was much there. There was also a lot of, not a lot, but a fair amount of stuff like in the Roman Catholic Church, which I thought was interesting. They kept going back to that church, and a fair amount of things happened in that church throughout the movie. I think there was a fair amount of symbolism there. I haven't really, broken it down. This is a movie that I definitely want to keep in my collection because I feel like there's some depth to it. I feel like I'm missing that depth. You definitely got some characters in this thing that are whacked and messed up, and some weird, gross sexual stuff going on between Robert Mitchum's character and Mia Farrow's character, which was pretty much spelled out. I mean, it's pretty gross. But anyway, I think that this is... I can't really recommend this. I don't think a lot of people are going to like it. I feel like it was pretty mediocre. I definitely think there's some interesting elements there, and I read a little bit about it too, and several reviewers said that rewatching it, they've rewatched it several times, and they actually didn't like it the first time, but they rewatched it, and it actually like grew on them more. So it might be a movie that needs to be rewatched. I definitely want to keep in the collection. But upon first viewing, I don't know, I'm somewhere in like 2.5, 3 stars out of 5. It's like I want to like it, but I just don't like it. I want to like it, I just don't like it. I also, let me see, I didn't write down much about that one. But I did write just, an interesting thing with what's going on now. Early in the movie, Elizabeth Taylor's character gets on the bus, and she's coughing, and Mia Farrow's character comes up and sits right next to her. Nowadays, that would never happen. It was just kind of a weird thing to be in the movie, I thought. But other than that, I wrote down some notes about Catholicism and how, there's a lot of like idolatry and a lot of weird rituals going on in like Roman Catholic Church. And I was raised Roman Catholic, but it's like people get involved in all that stuff and they feel like it's normal or whatever. But then like occult stuff, if they don't want to, like, people don't really believe in occult type rituals or more occult things that are kind of out there that they don't know about. But people will stick with like the Roman Catholic Church their whole lives, and they don't really know a lot about the rituals that are going on there because it showed like a baptism and things like that. And there's just a lot of weird stuff going on with like the symbolism of what's in the Catholic Church and the whole ritual of Mass and things like that. So those are some kind of things I was thinking with that one. So I just wanted to do that one first because I just watched it. And then the one me and Charmaine watched last night, which is Spirited Away. And this is rated PG. This is a Shout release, actually, Shout Factory. Looks like the movie was from like 2001, 2002. This was a really good one. And again, a movie where I feel like there's to this movie especially because it's a kids movie, so it's very entertaining if you just watch it kind of from an esoteric perspective, just taking it for what it is. But there's an esoteric perspective also. There's a lot of symbolism and metaphor and symbology and all this stuff to this movie. And I really think it could be enjoyed either way. I think that this is a really entertaining movie. Charmaine loved it, actually. I lost some interest in it towards the middle, but it wasn't because it wasn't good. You know, sometimes my mind just wanders, but this is a really good one. I would probably give this 4 out of 5 stars personally, but as far as like an animated movie, you know, I would not fault people for seeing this as a 5 out of 5. It's a really good one. There's just not a ton of stuff that I could say about it. I didn't write anything down because I was watching this with Charmaine, but it's a really entertaining movie, and I think a pretty good family movie too for people. Up next, let's take a look at the Arrows I watched. So from the recent Arrow video sale, I guess we'll go in the order that I watched these, and I got some coffee here, by the way. Hopefully PMac lives through this video. That went down the wrong the wrong way. No cuts. Don't die on us, PMac. I watched The Dead Center here, starring Shane Carruth. I feel like I talked about this one already. I think did I write down stuff about this one? Yes, I did. So this is an indie film. It is written and directed by Billy Sinise. The rest of the actors were no names to me. The only one I knew was Shane Carruth. He plays a psychiatrist, and he's a psychiatrist at like a hospital mental facility. And you know, from my perspective, I wasn't sure how much it kind of makes you feel like he kind of cares about the patients, but at the same way, he's kind of, you know, in this for himself, and he's got a lot of his own issues. I thought Shane Carruth in this role was really a good fit. He just looks like a normal guy, more or less. I think he's kind of short. It looked like he was kind of short, kind of a normal guy, you know, in his 30s or 40s, and he's kind of trying to figure things out himself. I thought Shane Carruth was really good in this movie. I thought that his you know, portrayal of the main character in this movie was excellent. His acting was phenomenal. I thought he was like perfect in this role. So he's got his own issues, and he's treating people with issues. So basically what this ends up being is kind of a possession movie, like a demon possession movie. There's a character at the beginning who has like amnesia, and there's a demon in him that takes over, and he kills people that are around. I didn't think it was a super unique movie. I felt like I'd seen movies similar to this before. I'll tell you, I was engaged throughout the whole thing, though. Like, I was into the movie, the whole movie, and I think I watched this one really early in the morning too, which is a time I would tend to fall asleep. So I thought it was really entertaining and really engaging, but nothing like too new. I feel like it could have had more depth to it. Like, I'm not sure. It felt pretty surface level overall. I didn't feel like it really got too deep with anything. If there was like a larger meaning behind it, I didn't really see like a real deep meaning behind the movie. I mean, I might just be missing it, of course. You know, one thing it got me thinking about was, you know, do people with mental issues, maybe they do have some sort of entity in them sometimes. Maybe they do have some sort of thing taking over them. You know, just kind of something to throw out there. You know, a lot of it's trauma. You know, a lot of people have mental issues due to trauma, but are there some cases where maybe somebody does have some sort of entity taking over them? And then kind of the isolation that the psychiatrist has in this, because he kind of realizes that something's not quite right with this guy. There's something strange going on. But when something like that happens and you go to other people and you try to talk to them about it, they think you're the crazy one. That happens a lot in life. It happens a lot in movies. Like, you know, the main character sees something going on, something's not quite right. People don't believe him. People don't, you know, they think he's nuts or her. He or her is nuts. So that's just another thing that I found interesting in this. That comes up a lot in movies. And, you know, being someone who kind of looks into what's really going on here, like, you feel like you can only, people are gonna judge you even though what you're saying is at least close to the truth, based on lots of evidence and what you see and what you've learned throughout your life. But, you know, you go and try to talk to other people about it, you could get a lot of backlash. So some things I thought about from that movie. Up next, a movie called Harpoon. By the way, Dead Center, I would give like a 3.5 out of 5. Solid movie. I will keep that in my collection. Next up, Harpoon from Arrow. Oh, I got some stuff written about this. I don't think I wrote much about this. This is a movie. It's kind of a small scale movie. There's only like 3 people in 3 actors in the movie. It's written and directed by Rob Grant, who I kind of looked into him a little bit. He didn't seem like he really, he didn't make any other movies that I knew of. And the actors too, I didn't know any of them. So kind of like a low budget indie movie. Basically, it's these 3 friends. There's some issues between these 3 friends. It's a girl and 2 guys in their 20s, and you know, you don't know much about the characters in the beginning. You're given a little synopsis. The one guy has some anger issues. The other guy's more like depressed. His parents died recently, and so you kind of, and then they go out on this boat together. And the guy who's very angry is kind of making it up to the other 2 people because he freaks out in the beginning of the movie, and he overreacts, and he's trying to make it up to him by taking him out on his boat. He's a rich young man, and some stuff comes out on the boat, and there's basically chaos out there on the boat. So it was a pretty entertaining one. It kept me engaged. It's nothing that I would ever watch again, and it's one that I don't really need to keep in my collection. So although I found it to be an entertaining movie, like a pretty good movie, like I said, the main thing is that I'm engaged into the movie, and I want to know what's going to happen next. This definitely did that. It's just a movie that I didn't really feel was that deep. It's not one that I really need to watch again. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend buying this one, but it is worth a watch. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I did find, you know, all the characters in it, it's kind of by design. The characters end up being very unlikable at the beginning. Maybe you have preferences for the certain characters, but they pretty much, you know, they become unlikable. There are a lot of plot twists, most of which you don't really see coming. There's some that maybe you will see coming, and some that you don't. So Harpoon, good for a watch, probably not for a purchase. Up next, let's see, where do I got this? I got another Arrow one here. Remo Williams. I was glad to get this for very affordable. This is called Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. And what the goal was for them to make kind of a U.S. James Bond, based on what I looked into. So in doing so, and making just the first portion of a series of movies, I feel like left a lot was kind of left out of this. It didn't really develop the Remo Williams character. I didn't really think that much. But again, if you have a series of movies, you're kind of leaving some of that stuff out for the other ones. And they also apparently tried to make this into a TV show. It didn't get past the pilot. It is similar. I felt like it was kind of after reading about the James Bond thing. Because James Bond, I mean, it doesn't go into, you know, especially the classic ones, it doesn't go back into, like, James Bond's character, really. It's just kind of, you know, they're there and, you know, that movie is the story. It does weave, like, action. There is comedic elements through it. I did feel like the overarching story was a cool one, you know, a secret agency that takes this cop and they pretend that he's dead and they give him a new identity. I thought that was a cool idea. It didn't really flesh it out. It was mostly an action movie. I thought that the story overall was pretty thin. The Remo Williams character, basically, once he gets involved with this secret agency, they take him to this Asian guy and he gets taught, you know, he has a mentor and he's taught some special skills. Let's see. That's pretty much all I wanted to say for this one. But I gave this one a 3 out of 5. Not that great. I didn't really like that one that much. Probably keep that in my collection though. You never know. Maybe they'll like bring Remo Williams back or a TV show. Probably not. I guess it didn't work out. So. See, now we're getting to the good ones, and I'm already sick of talking. Let's have a coffee break. Hopefully it goes down without me choking. Okay, you gotta be careful, PMac. How about one that I watched yesterday? Was it yesterday morning? I'll tell you. This was a good one. It is The Housemaid here from Scream Factory. Let's see what I have written down about this baby. Hopefully I wrote something down about it. This is a Vietnamese movie. It's mostly in Vietnamese, some English. It's 104 minutes from 2016, directed by Derek Nguyen. I thought that this was a very well-acted movie. I thought that all the actors in this did a very nice job. The main actress here is this girl here. What is her name? Young Kate. She was really good. And it's interesting, too, that she's got the red on in that picture. Very blatant. Everybody else has got, like, the gray, white, black, and then she's got the red. This is now out of print from Scream Factory. And it goes for, like, really high prices. I did find this interesting, too. This is IFC Midnight and also that CJ Entertainment, which Hamilton Book has a bunch of those CJ Entertainment. I'm not sure in what way they're affiliated with Scream Factory, but I'm kind of interested now in watching some of those other CJ Entertainment ones. This was... I read very mediocre stuff about it. Like, it wasn't really considered that good, but I'll tell you what, it's really up my alley. I really loved it. And I loved it because it did a really good job with, yes, it had horror elements to it, ghost story elements to it, but the story of it, you know, there was a backstory to it, a really engaging story. You care about the characters. You're wondering because it kind of places you right with this girl in the beginning, and she finds this guy murdered. It's not a spoiler because it happens right at the beginning. And then, you know, she's kind of telling her story to the cops of what happened and stuff. And she just, you know something isn't, you know you're not getting the whole story with this girl's background. You can just, you know, it sets it up for that. So you don't know what it is, but you just get that sense. And so it's kind of like a mystery, horror, thematic movie with it's a dark environment, a dark feel, and it is a pretty dark movie. But man, I was really entertained by it. I really enjoyed this movie. So I said that it was out of print. It's expensive, but the thing is, I believe it's Eureka released this in the UK. So if you're gonna place like an Amazon UK order, you could get this, throw it in there very, very affordably, probably around $10 if you buy it. If I order a few things from Amazon UK, I'm not just getting one and then the shipping. It's just not worth it. You got to get a bunch of stuff, and it makes the shipping more worth it. So this is something that you could throw in there. And I know the cover for the Eureka one looks a lot different. It doesn't look anything like this, but if you want this movie, I would highly suggest having a region-free player anyway, because like with the Criterion sales and stuff like that, you can get movies, better editions, and cheaper from the UK sometimes than Criterion. So, I was thinking about that with the Criterion sale. People get so excited with the Criterion sale, but I've gotten a fair amount of movies for half of the Criterion sale price, editions that are similar or better than the Criterions, from Arrow and, Eureka, other companies. So, something to put out there, but this is definitely a movie I very highly recommend. If you like a horror movie with a good psychological components of it, really, twists and turns, and just a really, really good movie, I thought, in many ways. I haven't even gotten into what I wrote down. That's probably all of it. I feel like it was more of like a drama. There's a love story components of it. It was more of that than a horror movie, which is more up my alley. I don't like the horror component to be the number one component in the movie. Let's see, what else did I want to put or to say that I wrote? I did feel like the characters were done very well. You care about several of the characters. You wonder what the heck's going on with several of the characters, and it was just a really well built story and a pretty cool resolution. I feel like it combined the elements really well, like I said, the psychological component, the horror component, the drama component. A lot of issues with all the characters. There may be some characters that you really don't like, and there's characters, but you kind of feel for most of the characters in this movie. They've been through quite a bit, all of them. There is some ambiguous nature to the ending and stuff like that. Some things that you could kind of debate what was going on, but I really loved it. I think that's everything, and I put a 4.5 out of 5 on this. But I'm gonna have to say that in thinking it through, there's no reason for me not to give this a 5 out of 5. PMacMovies classic. I loved this movie, and I know it got mediocre reviews, but the review isn't. It's how good I thought it was and how much I liked it, how entertaining I felt like it was, and to me, it's a PMac classic. 5 out of 5. Boom. Up next. Well, we did a Scream Factory. How about we do a Shout Factory? And this is one that is available at most Walmarts. Someone to Watch Over Me. This one is a Ridley Scott movie. Let me find where I have some stuff written down about Someone to Watch Over Me. Wrong notebook. It's getting confusing. But okay, Someone to Watch Over Me. I don't have much written down about this, actually. This is directed by Ridley Scott. It's from 1987, 106 minutes. I read that this is a pretty mediocre Ridley Scott kind of love story. I think on Blu-ray.com the movie might have gotten a 3.5 out of 5, which is solid, but not great. It is starring Tom Berenger and Mimi Rogers. Mimi Rogers' character in the beginning of the movie sees a murder. It's like a gangster murders, one of her friends. She is a witness, But the gangster, of course, is not wanting her to testify. So these cops, these New York City cops, are watching her, and she's very wealthy. She lives in a very, very nice place. She's got lots of moolah, and Tom Berenger's like the main cop looking after her. Well, Tom Berenger has a family, he has a really good relationship with his wife, he has a son, but a relationship develops between Tom Berenger's character and Mimi Rogers, both quite likable characters, I felt like. You know, even though Mimi Rogers' character is very wealthy, she is, you know, sympathetic. She's someone, she plays a likable rich lady, more or less, in this movie. She doesn't treat the cop lowly. She doesn't treat other people poorly or whatever just because, you know, she's wealthy or she's like upper class or whatever. And they develop a relationship, and then you have issues. You have a lot of stuff going on here. You got the stuff with him and his family, his wife and stuff. And then, of course, you got the gangster who's played by the one-armed man from The Fugitive, which is cool because he's my... that's my favorite movie. You know, it's basically my favorite movie of all time, The Fugitive. And he was in a fair amount of stuff, you know, back then. He was in Babylon 5. He was in some episodes of Star Trek. I forget his name, but the one-armed man from The Fugitive. Some other action movies he's in. Actually, maybe it says on the back here. No, it doesn't list him on the back. Anywho, I thought that this was really good as far as building the characters, like very likable characters, as far as the main characters that you're supposed to like and care about, so you care about what happens to them. I just noted that, I probably, that's kind of a spoiler, I don't know. I thought it was a really good mix of action and drama, though. There was, you know, the real dramatic elements with the romance and the family stuff, but there was action elements, too. A lot of action. So this was a really, really good one. You know, difficult situations, difficult decisions from all the characters, and you know, Mimi Rogers trying to decide if she's going to really testify against this guy. The characters trying to decide, you know, regarding what their goals are, as far as their relationships and things like that, trying to figure things out. If you can find this at your Walmart for $10, this is definitely a beer me. This is a really, really fantastic 80s movie. I really, really enjoyed this one. Really, really, really. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5, but it's pretty close to getting a PMac Collector's Edition. I really, really like to say really. I mean, I really, really do. This was an excellent movie. It was better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be like, you know, mildly entertaining, but man, I was into this one. Tom Berenger, excellent. Mimi Rogers, excellent. I thought she was really, like, perfect for that role. Really elegant, but really, you know, she didn't come across as like a bitch, or, you know, sometimes she didn't come across, like I talked about that Tough Turf movie, and this James Spader character likes the cute girl, but there's just nothing to her. Like, why do you even like this girl besides she's good looking? Like, it's like there has to be some personality, some substance there, and there isn't that. You know, Mimi Rogers' character seems like a decent person and things like that. Let's go with a movie I didn't like, and then a couple more that I did. War of the Worlds here, the new Criterion Collection. I don't have a lot to say about this movie, besides I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, I guess if you watched it back in the 1950s, I can see you liking it. Because, I mean, you hadn't really seen as much and things like that, but watching it now, it just seemed like kind of a silly B-movie with silly special effects. I mean, that might be offensive to people or whatever who love the movie, but I don't have any nostalgia with this movie. I'd never seen this movie before, and there was no depth to it. There was nothing, like, deeper about it. It was just, you know, it was what it was. And quite frankly, it's a lot of propaganda too. They got to plant all these ideas in people's minds to be scared of aliens, other aliens from other planets, and they had to get that in people's mind with things like this and Star Trek, and just give people another thing to be worried about. That's a big part of this, and if you don't think it is, that's fine. I mean, that is what it was. So I didn't care for the movie. I see it kind of for the propaganda piece it is. I didn't really find it very entertaining. I thought it was kind of like silly. But I didn't like that one. It is what it is. Don't judge me. Actually, you can judge me, but I didn't like the movie, so whatever. Anywho, I'll talk about one that I liked quite a bit, and then one that I loved. Another Kino one. Kino Lorber, Malice here, starring Alec Baldwin, Nicole Kidman, Bill Pullman. And some other folks are in this too. Peter Gallagher was in this. George C. Scott has a small role in this. From 1993, 107 minutes. Let's see what I have written about Malice. I don't think I wrote much for this one. This is pretty much a straightforward, very entertaining thriller with lots of, maybe not lots, but some really excellent plot twists. This was just a really entertaining early 90s thriller. Just pop some popcorn. I would say drink some soda, but it's not good for you. Drink a drink that's not horrible for you. And enjoy this movie. Did I already say it's 93 hour 47 minutes? Nicole Kidman, Alec Baldwin, Bill Pullman, directed by Harold Becker. And there's not a whole lot of deep stuff going on in this. I would go into it not knowing a whole lot. Just know that it's a thriller. You don't want to spoil the movie for yourself, and I don't want to spoil it. Even saying it's not going to be what you think it is, as far as what happens in the movie. But I don't want to give anything away. It is very over the top and unbelievable and all those things. Don't go into it wanting a movie that's realistic. Go into it wanting to be entertaining, wanting to just flow with the story, see what happens. This is an excellent one. I wrote 3.5 out of 5, but I'm upgrading it to 4 out of 5 because I think it deserves better than the 3.5. This is a really good movie. I got this, I believe, for $8 in a Kino sale. If you can get it for that price, you beer yourself and don't ask any questions. It's that good. It's that good. $8 for the Kino Blu-ray of Malice. Boom. Boom! You snag it. You snag it without a second thought. You snag this baby without a second thought. $10 from Walmart? You're crazy if you don't beer yourself those deals. Up next. An excellent one. I'm going to upgrade this too. I wrote down 4.5 out of 5. No! No! You are not doing this movie justice, PMac. This is Freaks on Blu-ray. This is a 5 out of 5 PMacMovies classic. How dare I give this movie a 4.5 out of 5? I loved this movie. But it's like, oh, I'm better than giving something a 5 out of 5. It just has to be so... It has to be so unbelievable for me to give it a 5 out of 5. Because that's just... It has to be amazing. Come on, man. This movie is as entertaining as it gets. These people who think they're... They think they think that they're... I can't allow myself to give that a perfect score. I just can't. I have to give it a 4.5. No, PMac, it's a 5. This is from Well Go USA. This was sent to me by Bill, Geriatric Geek. And it was a movie on my radar, but not like at the top of my radar. And I found out that this is actually $7 at Walmart if you have a $7 bin. Joe Masiello also snagged this, and he really liked it on my recommendation, which I knew he would. It's a really, really great movie. Low budget, indie movie. Well Go USA from 2018, 105 minutes. Emile Hirsch, Bruce Dern, but you also got one of my favorite actresses, Amanda Crew. I really like Amanda Crew. I like her. She's in that Zac Efron Love Story movie. That movie really touched my heart. Amanda Crew, she's really good. That was a Dollar Tree one. This is a really unique indie movie. And while I say it's unique, it does have elements of other movies. I recently watched the Abigail Russian movie. It has elements of that where it's taking... I'm trying to think if I'm going to give away enough that's going to ruin it, which I probably would if I went down that alley. Let's just say it has elements of the movie Abigail in it, which probably not many of you have watched, but there's the Abigail movie was nowhere near as good as this, but it has some kind of similar elements to it. As far as there's abnormal people or whatever. There's people that they're considering abnormal, and they do things with them, which again is really interesting in this environment because, you know, people that are kind of going outside the box, outside the lines, outside the mainstream story, you know, our society, if you know, whatever you want to call it, it's coming down on that sort of thing. You fall in line, boy. You fall in line. You do what you're told. You don't ask questions. You believe in the science. You believe in all the medical stuff. And you fall your ass in line or you're going away. Or worse. So that's the way things are now. But this has it has some really cool family elements to it. Some really cool, like, superhero kind of elements to it. The acting was excellent. Emile Hirsch is usually good. He was good in this. Amanda Crew, like I said. Bruce Dern, really excellent in this. I thought he was really good. And the little girl who played the main character in this, the little girl here, I'm not sure what her name is, but she was excellent also. The acting was really, really good all the way around. I really liked how it combined sci-fi with drama, with action, and like superhero stuff. It was really, really... What else did I write in here? Yeah, there's just some stuff that I wrote down that I just don't want to ruin the movie. I thought that there was... Again, don't read too much into this movie. Don't even read the back of the case. I don't think it gives away too much, but go into it knowing nothing and just take it in and enjoy. You read spoilers, you watch trailers, it's gonna ruin the movie for you. You gotta go in, just take PMac's recommendation. If you see it for $7, you beer yourself. You're gonna like the movie if you are a decent person to any degree. Just kidding, but kind of not. I'm kind of serious. If you don't like this movie, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think you like movies. I don't think that you should even be watching PMacMovies if you don't like this thing. I mean, it's pretty bad if you don't like this. It's that good. I thought there is the plot in it. You're not really going to be able to figure it out. You might be able to figure out some aspects of it, but again, I don't like it. Like watching the movie and you're trying to, oh, is this what they're doing with it? Oh, is this what they're doing with it? You can ruin the movie by doing that. I've found that you can ruin the movie. You got to kind of just try to take in the movie and not try to guess oh, this is going to happen. Oh, I think you're going to have trouble guessing in this one anyway, but it could ruin the movie for you. Also, I wrote down some elements of Dr. Sleep in this too, which again, it's something where, you know, there's these people with certain abilities that are being used, abused, tortured, possibly, you know, fed on, possibly. So there's elements of several movies, superhero movies, Dr. Sleep, that Abigail movie. But it combines things into like a really unique experience on a low budget, and I really, really like this one. It says copyright 2018, Abnormal Defense Force Inc. All rights reserved. Huh. This is a great one, though. 5 out of 5, PMacMovies classic. Bill, I thank you for sending me this one. This one was really a really great experience. Those are the kind of movies that make you just remember your love for getting into movies in the first place. Sometimes I get kind of bored with movies, but you watch a movie like Freaks, you watch a movie like Someone to Watch Over Me, you watch a movie like The Housemaid, and you think that's why I love movies, because of those experiences. And then you watch something like War of the Worlds, and you're like, what the F am I doing? But anyway, 45 minutes is long enough. I'm surprised it went that long, but, you know, we had a fun time. PMac almost choked to death on his coffee. It was a blast. I look forward to hearing from you guys. I do these videos. I hope for interaction. I hope for people to kind of reach out, like I said, and interact and talk about some of these movies. I really enjoy that. So hope you do. Like I said, check out the description section for ways that you can help out, contribute to PMacMovies and all those things. Keep the channel going strong. Show your appreciation for these videos. And I do appreciate you guys who do kind of reach out and things like that. So we will see you next time on PMacMovies.